The Monte Cristo sandwich is absolutely one of a kind. It's jam-packed with ham, Gruyere cheese. It's battered up and fried. It's pretty much the most delicious grilled cheese French toast that I've ever had. Yep, it's good, and I'm gonna hook it up right now. Sound good? Let's cook. We are gonna kick off this recipe by making a batter, and you know me, I love to do it in pie tins. You could also just use a shallow bowl. We're gonna add in some eggs, some whole milk, and then what we wanna do at this point is season it well with a little bit of salt and fresh cracked black pepper, and then using a spoon, using a whisk, whatever you've got, mix this together until it is completely smooth. Once it is whisked, we're just going to add it to the refrigerator and keep it cool until we are ready to use it. And for some more prep, I've got a big block of Gruyere cheese, and it's just so hard to wait until I need it in this recipe because I love Gruyere cheese. You should definitely try it. If you can't get a hold of this, substitute out for Swiss cheese, no problem. I always like to do it on parchment paper because it's easy to transfer and it's easy to clean up. Set it to the side. And now for the bread. I've got a fantastic 2-hour white bread recipe that would work perfectly for this. If not, you could for sure use brioche, challah bread, or even a good sourdough. But what I do like to do is thickly slice it. I like a big, hearty Monte Cristo sandwich. And now to start assembling, I just lay out all the bread on a cookie sheet tray lined with parchment paper. You could do it on a cutting board, a large platter, whatever you have. And now we start to layer everything on, beginning with some mayonnaise. You know, I've got a great homemade recipe for you to check out. We are going to follow that up with some Dijon mustard. You could use whole grain mustard or even spicy mustard if you wanted a little bit more of a kick. And now generously sprinkle on that Gruyere cheese all over the top of that. And then for the ham, either you've got some leftover ham that are nice, thickly sliced, or even lunch meat ham will do perfectly. Okay, really quick, when it comes to using ham, I want to give you some options. This is why this recipe is so awesome after the holidays. Everyone has so much leftover ham. Perfect recipe to use it. In fact, I've also seen other folks put some of that sliced leftover turkey from Thanksgiving or Christmas or whenever. They put it in there in addition to the ham. Little extra protein, little extra deliciousness. For me, I'm going to keep it simple, all ham, like you just saw. If you have leftover sliced deli ham just in the middle of the week, what an awesome meal to make. Okay, let's finish this thing up. Place on the other end of that sandwich slice. Give it a little press down, just make sure everything is combined. And now it's kind of the art of making grilled cheese. We're going over to a very large pan. I'm going to add in some unsalted butter. Now, I like to keep the heat around low to medium. I want to brown it, but I don't want to brown it too fast that the bread becomes toasted, but the cheese is not melted. I usually know when it's time to put it in when the butter starts to bubble just like this. And then our grilled cheese turns into French toast. So what we're going to do is add our sandwich right into the batter. I pulled it out of the refrigerator and coat it on all sides, even the sliced ends, because we're going to cook it on all those ends too. Get it really nice and browned up. Make sure that cheese is perfectly melted. So at this point, add it to the pan. Now this pan is big enough where you could go ahead and batter up the other three. I'm going to cook it one at a time just so I can show you, make sure I have enough time that it's perfectly brown. After about 3 to 4 minutes, that's when we want to give it a flip. See, you're starting to get that brown on there, that beautiful French toast look to it. Excellent. After another 3 to 4 minutes, we're just going to set it up on the side. When you've got a lot of sandwiches in here, it's way easier to do. Be sure to brown it on all sides before you remove it and set it to the side and repeat the process. Why is it the most simple classic recipes always the most delicious? Seriously, every single time it is the case. It's because the fundamental simple techniques it takes to make them, put them over the top. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel here. We're not trying to put in a panini maker or a toaster or any weird thing you've seen on the internet. No, we're simply dipping it in batter and frying it in some fat. That's the way it's supposed to be done. That's why it is so delicious. When you apply these techniques to your homemade food, it is always so much better. I always tell you that. However, this recipe has a few more ingredients to put on top. It is classically served with a couple other things. I'm going to show you how to do it. Here we go. Just going to transfer our sandwich right over to a large cutting board. And the first thing it gets is some powdered sugar. So give it a heavy dusting right on top. The sandwich is awesome to eat for breakfast in addition to lunch. And then slice it in half. Let's check out all that gooey, cheesy deliciousness. Yes, pouring right out of the sandwich. Excellent. And this recipe classically is served with some red currant or raspberry jam or jelly. Smother it all over that sandwich. And I'm telling you, my friends, this will absolutely be a new favorite. Be sure to like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel. Let's get in some of this.